I'm gonna do a couple of my dailies in Dread Ring first, and then I'm gonna be heading into a dungeon, or attempting it at least. So let's see what we got today. Dread Ring, I'd have to say, is the I wouldn't say it's the hardest, but I wouldn't say it's the easiest either for the dailies. Normally you can find a group or two, or, you know, whatever the heck you want to do. You could do it solo, probably. I prefer to do it solo. Every now and then I'll get a group just to do it fast and get it out of the way, because there are so many dailies and so many campaigns. I do want to check how far I am into it, so I'm going to do that real quick first. Alright, so Dread Ring, I am 61%. You need 24 of these thingies, which I'm pretty sure you only get them from the dungeon area of this. I am done with my Sharndar. I do have all of the boons and the Elemental Evil. Obviously that's the easiest one. That's the one that's the most important as well. The Maze Engine I need to do today as well. I won't be starting I started the Underdark. That's just, you gotta get the Frazaras, or whatever the heck it's called, in the I-Core. As far as Tyranny of Well of Dragons, I try to stick to a couple campaigns like at a time, so it's normally like 2 at a time. So when I finish off the Dread Ring, I'll be moving on to the Underdark and Tyranny of Dragons, Well of Dragons, because they both fit together anyway, because when you're in the Well of Dragons, it allows you to farm the demonics anytime you see them as you're doing your missions. So it makes it that much easier to do the 2 campaigns at once. It makes them most effective. As far as Icewind Dale, in general, I gotta do the Storm King's Thunder and Icewind Dale at the same time. That'll make it easier. So it'll kill off both of them at the same time. Alright, so let us get these dailies on the road. It does come in handy for the Underdark one though, because the one for the Underdark, you can actually do it in multiples of areas. Anywhere that you can do a demonic, like the Stronghold or Icewind Dale. Obviously in the Dread Ring, Sharndar I don't think has one. Where else is there? Demonics. Yeah, so it's in Dread Ring and Tyranny. It's in the Well of Dragons. The Maze Engine is technically a demonic, however, unfortunately you don't get the currency for it that you need. Oh, I'm not doing dungeons at the moment, so I gotta switch that power over to Griffin's Wrath, because I can use it 3 times, is why I like it. Alright. These guys, as a tank, it does take a little bit longer, so I normally try and have a couple different setups, like my mana core here. I don't have anything in it right now, so unfortunately I won't be able to. Power is what I want. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have anything for companion wise, so unfortunately I'll have to just do it all myself, which won't be too big of a deal. It'll just take a couple extra bits, so oh well, we'll manage. I've actually at one point I've searched up and tried to find people doing their just regular stuff in game, as some people do find it amusing, which I found none. Like, I found people doing their builds, I found everything, but I don't think I've actually found any like random people. Then again, I never really, like, I have looked, but not really that much, I guess. I don't know why I'm fighting these guys. This is not what I need to be doing right now. Kill off these guys and then get to my dailies. Oh, lordy me. Stand right in the fire. Yeah, that's smart. You know, the great thing about YouTube, I always find that it's almost as if you're speaking to the world. So, to have helpful information, I try to fill as much of my video as I can with the most helpful information that I could think of for both new and experienced players. I would consider myself an experienced player, however I'm not like a professional obviously because I haven't been playing nearly long enough, but I do consider myself pretty experienced. I don't even remember what I gotta do. I gotta slay dreadhounds in the quarry. I am going the wrong way to do that. I've been focusing on killing enemies and didn't even focus on where I need to kill enemies. Oh, crud. Going the wrong way. Stop attacking me. See, and there's my quest line. It'll randomly actually disappear, which I kind of find silly. But whatever. Not much you can do, right? Oh, right. Gotta go up. I was speaking to one of my guild members, or sorry, one of my alliance members who is like part of our alliance and stuff, the other day, and he was telling me that a lot of the stuff got nerfed and buffed and stuff. It was a big change for a lot of the players that, like, for the Hunter Ranger, apparently this is only hearsay, so don't take my word for it, but what I'm understanding is they nerfed a lot of the bow moves, and a lot of the sword moves are now a lot stronger. I don't know how or why. I don't really know where the difference lies, but I think it's in speed, really, and the critical and everything like that, but don't quote me on that. And I play all characters. Like, I do have one of every single class, and I've gotten just about all of them except for about 2 of them to level 70 and to a decent, I wouldn't say good, I would say decent gear score. This is my highest. I have a DC that's 2500 gear score, as well as a paladin healer that is 2300. However, it isn't set up properly quite yet, so I don't really go on that one nearly as much. I go in every now and then when people need help with dungeons to like have healing there with them. So other than that though, I try and get the stuff with this character and just throw it into my guild bank and just pick it up from the other with the other character. It's the most effective way, I guess. I actually used to do that with my DC because a lot of the dungeons I wouldn't even be able to get into, and I would get kicked before I could even queue up. So I would have to friggin' go on a cleric or a paladin healer, or a character that's more support, I guess, than in, because like for Castle Never, I'm not like terrible to be in there. Like my defense is decent. Like I said, it is about 10,000. In my last video I did explain a little bit about my build. Unfortunately, I did have to go and do some errands, so I wasn't able to explain my entire build, and I can do a little bit more of that as we go through this. I got about 3 or 4 different setups because I do a little bit of PvP. However, I don't do like a whole lot, so I don't really set up a lot for that. But for my power wise, I'm just gonna go over here real quick so I'm out of the attacking ranges and stuff. So normally when I'm on my own, I do run Lunging Strike and Force Threat, and either Into the Fray, Frontline Surge, or since this event that's up, a lot of the time I get the other random, like where you gotta use 10 encounter power, so this one I can use 3 times. So I have that one on equipped right now. And it does decent damage, so, but that's just the options between, like, for the one that I run, for when I'm soloing. When I do dungeons, as I've explained in my last video, I always have Knight's Valor on, that's a must. If it's a decent enough group, I have Enforced Threat, Into the Fray, and Lunging Strike. you will always see me using Enforced Threat Guaranteed. This one's pretty good because of the fact that it marks a pretty large area and draws them, but it also damages them as well. And it doesn't have a very big cooldown. Like it has a 12.1 cooldown, and every time I pop my daily though, it actually gets a lower cooldown. I did end up buying the Dragonborn, so I have a lot more of the open slots. A lot of my stuff in here is a bunch of junk though, so I don't really need any of this stuff. This is just all coffer stuff for my stronghold. Some of the stuff might go into my artifact equipment and artifact itself. Like I got some garbage stolen dark gifts for the stronghold. I got some stolen Fey trinkets and stolen Tyranny treasures. I got a crap ton of artifacts. Like this one, I do have a great weapon fighter. I had to get that to level 60 before I can get this one, and I got it at green level, which is uncommon. So that one ended up getting to purple. And this was when I was starting out my character, so I didn't realize that none of these stats, the maximum health, the power, and the armor penetration, the only one that was good from that is the maximum health. But when I started setting up my artifacts, I still got one to go, and I'm working on it right now. As you can see, it is pretty leveled up. However, again, it's only giving me a little bit of AoE resist and some health. This one is good just for its ability alone, but it does give me some defense, which is always handy. So. But this one, it basically, it says here, your devoted cleric spirit fills up with divine power, which regardless of that, and 80% of your total action points over 15 seconds. In addition, while this buff is active, you heal yourself for 2,320 points whenever you use an encounter power. Basically, in a sense, what that means is my special daily power, anytime that I'm either getting attacked or attacking or using my encounter powers, which is my square, triangle, and circle, my daily charges up that much faster. Normally it would take a good 12 seconds of getting hit in order for it to be active, but if you, even against these small enemies, as long as you are using some of your abilities, like see how fast that's going up there, like if you use it and then watch how fast it goes up again, like it, as long as you're always getting hit, and as a guardian fighter you will always be getting hit, so it pops up pretty fast. Like between the time that it takes to recharge though, it's really effect of that is pretty effective. Like I quite like the Sigil of the Devoted. However, for that one I had to get a level 60 cleric, which I did, and then some. So I quite like my cleric. However, it ended up being a feeder for my other characters, because as much as I like the cleric, it was more dependent on other players, even just for my daily stuff. So I wasn't too fond of the idea of having to be forced to run with other people just to be able to do my normal stuff, and that's not fair to ask to other people. So I mean, the Guardian Fighter isn't nearly as dependent on other people. However, the DPS is obviously definitely quite nice to have for help. And heals is obviously never going to be turned down. Buffs as well. So it's basically the in the middle character. It doesn't like need to have any of those things. It's just, it'd be a very handy thing to have. Like, I don't die against these guys like my cleric probably would if I stayed too long in this area. Because with all my characters, I was just testing them all and seeing how decent they were and what their skill set was and how to work them right. Well, I ended up finding out that a lot of the characters, I mean, even as a Healadin, and you can tank pretty decent with those ones, there's no DPS at all for it, and I was killing enemies like little imps that you kill in the stronghold. They would take like seven shots before they would die. So I was sitting there, I was like, wow, like these guys are taking way too long to kill, and it wasn't working for me. So I ended up transferring it straight into a straight healer. There's no DPS whatsoever. I have maybe one move equipped, and I mean that's between the encounter powers and the the at-wills that actually does damage. Everything else either buffs, heals. Yeah, buffs or heals. I guess that's all there is that they could do. I'm pretty sure there might be like 1 or 2 debuff moves, but like one of my at-wills is a straight heal. My other one is my normal attack. I do need some form of attack. Then my circle is I drop a giant aura. But yeah, like in general, I guess is what I'm trying to say is they were just too squishy of characters and not a good fit for me. So I ended up going with the Guardian Fighter, and it seems to be pretty decent. Like you can switch it into a decent DPS, which is pretty cool, because I mean, to be able to take ridiculous damage and just completely negate it and turn it into 0 damage, even in the like very powerful areas, it's quite handy to be able to just be like, you know what, in your face, you smacked me for what would have normally been like a 200,000 hit. Well, guess what, I just turned it in, switched it around, pushed it through all my debuffs and buffs and stuff, and made it so that it only did 3,000 damage to myself. Like that's just how the Guardian Fighter looks at things. It's like, you know what, oh, I didn't realize that there's a demonic here. Sorry, I kind of cut myself off. But yeah, it's a great character overall. I personally find it to be one of the best classes, just as a personal opinion. It's fun. It's fun to play. Like, it's a little slow to begin with, but overall it's great. Like, I love it. And see, like, as I'm doing my dailies, I can just do the Underdark campaign by getting some demonic ichor, and Fazras by doing demonic encounters. Like, it's really handy how they set this up. And from what I hear, soon they'll be releasing a new DLC area, and which is, it's funny because I did just see the the new DLC that just dropped, and they're already talk of another one. Like, there's so much to do in this game as it is, and to have so much going on. Like, I never thought that an MMO would catch my eye. Like, I'm more of a big Skyrim player. I know people are probably thinking, wow, that's like back when PS3. That was like last year's news, you know? Well, I was like level 100 and something on Skyrim, so I'm not really used to MMOs. In fact, I didn't even know what DPS meant when I first started. Like, I started off with the Guardian Fighter, surprisingly enough, and I had it set up really, really badly. I didn't know what the gear score meant, didn't know anything. And one of my buddies had walked me through, and I was like, wow, man, that was really big on you. He was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, from what I've been hearing on a lot of the YouTube channels and all this stuff, and I hear that a lot of people on MMOs aren't very supportive because it takes such a long time to get your character set up that not many people are willing to, you know, help out other people. And I just thought that that was a general opinion for everyone, but apparently not. So I found quite a few people that are just a great help, and I am completely off topic, but that's alright. Right now I'm just doing a general video. If you don't want to skip this, wow, I can't even speak today. Proves that I'm human, right? Well, if you guys don't want to watch this, like I said, it's just me doing random stuff in Dread Ring right now. So there's nothing specific going on. Just having fun doing some dailies. I know a lot of people do enjoy watching other people just because it is pretty cool to see some of the things that they can do that some others might not be able to do, or some things that you may be able to try or set up with. So this is definitely going to be one of my lower viewed videos, if at all. Like, I'm not very popular on YouTube at the moment. I just started about, I don't know, like last year or sometime when I had my PS3 still. And I had uploaded like 3 Skyrim videos about glitches or something like that, and I like Skyrim. Like I said, it's a very good, cool game. That was when I was like level 80, I think, or something like that. I don't know. Some people say I talk too much, but whatever. You know, I'm a conversationalist, talking to myself here on the mic. But in the long run, I guess I'll be talking to whoever watches this. So the demonics take so long, but we managed to hit gold, so that's good. These are one of my favorite ones, though, the demonic closures, because you don't have to defend anything. You don't have you don't have a specific time. Well, you have a time limit, obviously, as you can see the 3 minutes or whatever up on the screen there. But if you manage to kill all the enemies in the time before the time limit's up, you're done. So it's really all comes down to how fast you can kill them. I don't know who all these people are, but apparently they're doing decent enough that they're killing these guys pretty fast. So. Alrighty, what did we get? What did we get? Ooh, I got a cache of iCore, 50 Phosphorus, and 10 demonic iCore. Alright, let's open that. Oh, yay. That should put me at enough that I can... Oh, not quite yet. I need 200 Phosphorus. So I need, it gives you about a 50 every time you do a demonic. So I need about 2 more demonics, and I should have enough to start my next run. That is one thing I'm quite baffled with. I don't understand why they make it so that you gotta wait 24 hours just to have that claim ability for the campaign. Then again, this is an MMO and it's a very big time consumer. It's all about that time and patience and whether or not you're willing to put it in or not, so. I don't know how long they're going to allow me to do this video for, so I'm going to try and wrap this up, but I'll have to do the dungeon in my next video, so. This is my second video today, so. Trying to get as many up as I can. I will be doing a series running through my control wizard. It is going to be a walkthrough of all the levels, so I'm going to have to keep that pretty short as well, because they're going to be about half an hour each, and I'm just going to see how fast I can level it up. It is started already, so I'm going to have to restart it. But if you like this video, please do give a like and subscribe, and yeah, I hope I help you out, and just keep me be able to keep updated with my progress, I guess.